Destination Mark.
Okay, hey guys, how's it going? Marcelo here, and okay, so let's divulge into a little bit of a story here. A lot of you probably already know it if you saw the live stream on Shantae Half-Genie Hero. Link down below if you haven't, or if you have, you can watch it again. Anyway, so I pre-ordered this game back in August 27th to be exact, a little after my birthday, and initially the game was supposed to come out September 23rd, so I was like, I'm going to pre-order it hella early so that way when it comes, I'm going to get it day one, I'll have it, play it, do it, awesome. That didn't happen because WayForward needed to, now granted, WayForward is awesome because they actually pay attention to, listen to, talk with, converse with, and fucking care about all around. They care about their fans. So they let us know why they pushed the date back. And a lot of games were getting pushed back. Freaking Ukulele, Last Guardian, like around that time. So I was like, okay, well, now Shantae's part of that little group there of games that are getting delayed. Whatever. A lot of games have been getting delayed. Were getting delayed in 2016. So I was like, alright, whatever, fine. And they said, well, the game's done, but we have to iron out some bugs. So they were doing that, and they kept pushing the date more, and more, and more. So I was like, not that I was getting impatient, but I was like, when's it coming out? I need to play this game! When's it coming out? So, it's out now, and obviously, did a live stream on it, and that live stream is actually my first hands-on experience with the game. It was my candid, real-ass reaction to what was going on in the game, and my first impressions? Really, really good. Really, really fucking good. I can't contain my excitement. I've been waiting for this game since I found out they were making a fourth Shantae, and I'm like, okay, I beat Pirate's Curse. Pirate's Curse is so far, of the 4 now, my favorite game. So I was like, alright, what does this one have to offer? And, whew, let's get into that. Well, first off, the music. The music is fucking amazing. It is catchy as hell, as per usual with Shantae. Just when you think that Jake Kaufman cannot outdo himself in the awesomeness factor, he fucking bumps that shit up to 11. Oh my god. The Risky Beats edition has the Risky Beats soundtrack of the game. I was listening to it before filming this. God. Hands down, favorite track, Main Street. So fucking good. Every time we were in Main Street, every so often when like the theme would really kick in near the beginning, you can see me in the live stream stop playing, stop Shantae where she is, and just, you can't see me because there's no face cam, but I was totally going like, hey, like, it was just fucking, Jake Kaufman is fucking awesome. Every fucking track he makes, you have to do this little thing with it, and you're like, okay, you get into this, you cannot sit still, or stand still, however position you are when you're listening to a track from any Shantae game. But particularly these ones, these later ones, like, you cannot be still while listening to them. Something will, you tap your foot, you go like this, you bob your head, something will move on you when listening to this music. It is so good. And, we got a lot more, like, of the feels, I guess you could say, with the music. Not like emotional feels per se, but it's just more of like, it's varied, I guess you could say. Like there's some really jazzy music, and it's like Risky's theme, the villain of the game. Risky's theme is not super swashbuckling, pirate-ass freaking epic. It's very chill and jazzy, and I'm like, that's a turn for the villain having her own theme song, and it's this cool freaking jazz, just kind of, you know, kick back and listen to it. It's just, it's awesome. And I think Roddy Top's theme was also like in that exact same vein of like, I don't know if it's jazzy, because I know I just listened to it, but like, it's very mellow and laid back, and the whole soundtrack is not mellow and laid back, but Main Street is very techno-y and very, I love how he also samples other, you know, tracks. So like in Main Street's theme, you can hear snippets of We Love Burning Town, and I immediately picked up on that. I'm like, oh, that's fucking awesome. I love it when they sample other like tracks from the series and all that stuff. It's amazing. It's really cool, and they even redid Scuttletown's theme yet again, but you can still hear snippets of the original composition. But the overall revamped theme sounds badass. The oh my god, the title theme when you're on the main menu and when you're on the title screen, it sounds very like cinematic, like it's like orchestrated. I'm like, ooh, that's cool. And it's so we've got our theme here, Dance Through the Danger, and you're listening to the title theme right now. You can hear it there. It's very cinematic sounding, and it's very, or if it sounds like an orchestra is playing the music, and it takes snippets of Dance to the Danger. It's awesome. It's fucking awesome. So that's just the music alone. Gameplay itself is fucking amazing. So let's get into that. Now, granted, I have not played the first Shantae game at all. I've seen what it looks like. I just haven't played it, and I've only played like the littlest, tiniest bit of Frisky's Revenge. I really need to get back onto that game, and we got it for the Wii U recently, so I really have no excuse not to play it. I have it on my 3DS, and now we have it on the Wii U, so there's no excuse. I have to play that. But Pirate's Curse was the first game I played all the way through for Shantae, and it is unique and almost the black sheep in the gameplay department of these 4 games, because Shantae doesn't transform. Use her, typical iconic transforming abilities. She uses Risky's weapons. But that was a really cool mechanic, and I love the way they implemented it into the game. It was really cool for what it was worth. But Half-Genie Hero goes back to basics with Shantae's abilities, and now we can transform again. So I was like, okay, now I've seen gameplay of the transformations from the first game and from the second game, so I'm like, they looked a little bit slow, a little like they had to take their time. She had to do her little dance and whatever, and then she would transform. So I'm like, well, is it going to take up time to transform? Not that it's going to be like the biggest deal in the world, like, oh, we have to wait for her to transform again. Like, not so much. I wasn't awaiting that kind of response if it was going to be like, if it was going to be a little time consuming. I was just like, well, is it time consuming or is it not? Responsive. It's so fucking fast. I'm like, oh my god, I wasn't expecting that. So the transformations are quick. The transformations are fucking adorable also, let me just say that too. Fucking, I think my favorite has to be Crab Shantae, just because of how like, she's just like, it's so fucking funny. You have to see my reaction in the live stream. That live stream has all my actual first, right there in the moment, candid ass reactions to seeing her transformations, like her actually transforming, how fast it was, and how I was surprised that it was that fast. What the transformations, her animal forms actually looked like. It's all there, so I mean, that's why I'm trying to incentivize you to check out the live stream, because I'm reporting to you now in a more concise manner what my initial thoughts were, and you can see me actually forming those thoughts of like, oh my god, just reacting, raw reaction to those things in the live stream. So if you want to actually see me react to those kinds of stuff, watch the live stream. But transformation, quick as hell. One thing I also observed was that the platforming this time around, it wasn't so much like this in Pirate's Curse, but the platforming with these shifty in, out of the wall kind of platforms, and these platforms that go down after you step on them, and planks of wood that go down after you step on them, kind of reminded me of Crash 1 a bit. Way forward, were you inspired by Crash 1 when forming your platforming challenges? Because I got a huge Crash 1 vibe from that, from just those little puzzles, well, not so much as puzzles, but those little challenges for the platforming, just for the in-out pushy walls and all that stuff. I was like, yeah, this feels very Crash 1 like. So, but it was still really cool. I mean, the platforming, while not too challenging so far, I'm still pretty early-ish into the game. So, as Shantae, because you can play, I've seen on the Kickstarter stuff, you can play as fucking Risky Boots, I believe Bolo, I think Sky, Roddy Tops. There's like a lot of other playthroughs you can do, but as I found out, you can only unlock those, after the initial, I'm guessing after the initial Shantae playthrough, so we'll have to see how that goes. No spoilers in the comments or anything like that, but I'm still learning more stuff. I haven't beaten the game yet, I've only done that 3-hour or 2-hour live stream is as much experience so far as of right now, so this recording, as I've had because, I mean, this is a 2017 video, but I guess, not spoilers, but let's open the curtain on this little, I'm filming this in 2016, but, you know, so far, this is only, from this recording, that live stream was all I've had to experience so far. By this point, when you're watching this, I'll probably have played a little bit more. So if you want like a second thoughts follow-up, or maybe I can do like an actual review of the game after I'm finished beating it and all that stuff. So what I've seen so far though, it's fucking awesome. I'm not gonna make this a very long video. Like, how far are we? Okay, we're not too far into the video. Not a very long video right now, but I'm going to try and keep this a little bit shorter because I've only experienced so much, but there is quite a lot to talk about. So the music is fucking amazing. The gameplay is really good. The challenges are right there. I've heard from my G-Man and everyone that, you know, who has already beaten the game and played the game more and have gotten further than I've gotten. They've said the bosses, as per kind of usual in Shantae, are a little on the easier side. Like, you still have to figure out how to do things, but when you figure out how the boss works, it shouldn't be any problem to actually beat the boss. So, that's kind of typical for Shantae, so I'm like, okay, well that's not a big deal. So, I still have a lot of bosses to experience, all that stuff, and the story this time around is also really cool. I know we're going to get a lot more stories, so there's not a whole lot. I'm not going to report the story right now because that's something I would do in a review, but I feel like it's going to go a lot more deeper into like Shantae's background and all that kind of stuff, because now we're talking about other genies and stuff like that, which is something that the ending of Pirate's Curse, I'm not going to really spoil too much, but kind of touches upon. That's all I'll really say about that, for those who might not have played Pirate's Curse. But I'm thinking that this game divulges more into that. Now, G-Man and other people who actually know the plot from beating the game, don't tell me if I'm right or wrong. I'm just speculating here because that's the vibe I'm getting. So please don't actually, again, no spoilers. The only spoiler I think that, I'm gonna say it, G-Man. The only spoiler that G-Man told me before I actually started playing was, by the way, there aren't as many innuendo jokes in this game as there were in previous titles. I'm like, okay. So, that's pretty funny. But the humor, oh yeah, let's talk about the humor. The humor is actually still very Shantae-esque with, God, okay, so from what I remember from Pirate's Curse, they made a lot of like, not fourth wall breaking jokes, but very self-referential jokes. And self-referential, well, self-referential doesn't always mean fourth wall breaking. Like Shantae makes fun of her own appearance at one point in Pirate's Curse, and they do talk about, you know, just their weird ass designs, not weird, but like outlandish designs and stuff like that. And it's aware of, Pirate's Curse, you know, as a game is aware of what it is and who the characters are and then stuff and the things they're doing, and they make fun of that in a really funny, lighthearted way that doesn't go too over the top and too weird and, you know, weird. If you've seen the art style, you kind of understand what I'm saying by weird, you know, so they have fun with it in a really funny, comedic way that's actually like, you can get some laughs out of it. And they continue that in Half-Genie Hero, so that's really cool to see, and I want to see more of how the humor plays out, because now there's a freaking a chick named, oh god, Holly Lingerbean, who is the new Half-Genie Hero, who the mayor hires because Shantae how's it go? Shantae, because, she needed to protect Main Street, but Main Street still got destroyed, so the mayor's like, you know what, yeah, you're out of a job, you're fired. We're gonna get a new chick to be the Half-Genie Hero. She's pretty much the villain. And she's a bit of a, I'm trying to think of a really funny, she's a bitch. Let's just outright say it. I was trying to think of some kind of funny other word to call her. Nah, she's naggy, she's kind of annoying, she's a bit of a brat. There you go, brat. I just went right ahead to say bitch. She's a brat. So, however that plays out, their rivalry and all that stuff, I want to see more of that. So, what I've experienced so far, though, it's fucking great. It's amazing. G-Man was telling me, bro, right when you jump into this, you're gonna love it. And yeah, I pretty much already knew I was going to love it. I really didn't have any kind of, like, concerns or issues. The only thing I was like, well, when's the game gonna come out? Because it was getting pushed back and back and back, and we all knew why. It was just that I'm just wondering, like, in a general sense of like, hey guys, when will the game come out, because I really, really want to play it. And that was like the only issue I ever had. Besides that, everything I was seeing from the stuff they were teasing, the stuff they were saying Kickstarter backers were going to get, it all looked really cool. So I'm like, there we go. It's a great all-around experience for those who are back in the project and have gotten it early and have gotten all the benefits that come with whatever tier they donated for or to and all that stuff. And it's a fucking good game. Play the fucking game if you haven't already. And I really do recommend not really watching reviews and stuff yet, or if you just hear the reviews like so-and-so gave it an 8.5 or a 9 point whatever, like, that's fine, because they're just numbers, and it lets you know, oh, people think that it's really good. But like, actual reviews, if you haven't played this yet, then I haven't even watched reviews or anything from what I've already played and experienced, and then trying to see what others say about it now that I already kind of like know what's going on with the game. I haven't even done that yet. I'm still not going to really watch any reviews. Internet people or other people reviewing it until like I actually beat the game. So, yeah, I mean, my video right now is only to be like, this is what I've experienced my first time, so I'm not really I'm not going to give away a whole lot, because I still don't know a whole lot of what even goes on anyway, so I can't really spoil too much except for like what happens early on in the game. So I mean, besides that, I'm just rambling at this point. Music good, gameplay good, characters great. Oh, fucking love the art style. I didn't even mention that. Let's keep going. The video's not done yet. So I was about to sign off. The art style, for this being the first Shantae game not in 16-bit, not pixelated, this is full-on, fluid-ass, HD-ass Shantae in a different-ish art style. It's more cartoony, a little more anime-esque, I guess you could say. Almost like chibi in a way, you could say. You can say, they're not exactly chibi, but you can kind of almost think of them that way. Seeing as how the art style has, like, it's almost like Rayman. That sounds like a weird comparison, but really look at the earliest Rayman games, Rayman 1, Rayman 2, and Rayman 3. Those three right there alone. The characters and Rayman himself and all of them have been in a drastically different art style. Same thing with Shantae. From the very first game where she looked very Sailor Moonish, you could kind of say, in a way, just from the art style alone, not so much as her design, just the art style. And then they made it look a little cleaner, a little better in Risky's Revenge. And then with Pirate's Curse, they totally like rehauled the designs and the art style to the point where it's, I don't even know what you can compare it to. It looks a little more anime-esque, like almost like current anime-esque, if you really think like old school, like Sailor Moon, like 90s anime versus like more modern anime. It's a weird comparison. I don't even know if I'm making any sense at this point, but it's kind of like that. And now with this new art style, it's like a little more, it's more simplified, not as detailed with the character designs. Like, the game is fucking detailed as shit, don't get me wrong. And it even reminds me of Rayman, speaking of Rayman like Origins and Legends, when enemies pop up from the background into the foreground to where you are to go and attack you, or they'll leap out from like the foreground and come back. Like, they'll jump over to the floor, I guess. They leap out from wherever onto the floor. That's the only way I can describe it. To go and attack you. So they leap out from the background and the foreground, let's say that. And it has a kind of a Rayman-y vibe, like in that sense, the more modern Rayman, Origins and Legends. The character designs themselves are a little more simplified, that's what I'm trying to say. They look almost a little more cutesy, kind of chibi-esque. But I love it. It's really cool. I mean, if you here, well, it doesn't really look chibi. Well, again, I would say chibi because look at Shantae, and then compare this Shantae to this one. This one's a different Shantae compared to, I think this is like Risky's Revenge Shantae compared to this one. It's different. So yeah. Besides that though, okay, so we've got the art style down, fucking awesome. Music, fucking incredible. The gameplay, really nice, responsive, and fast and efficient, and it's just all around. All the transformations feel good to control. Shantae herself feels just the same as in Pirate's Curse. She has all her same moves as in Pirate's Curse. It's all freaking good. The game feel is amazing. The conveyance is there. The only issue I can think of from the live stream, I said this in the live stream, the only issue of anything that I could possibly think of from what I experienced right then and there, and from what I can even remember in general experiencing, the only smallest little issue, I was like, okay, so Scuttletown, as always, is still your main little hub world. But in Pirate's Curse, and I believe in the other games too, before Pirate's Curse, you can go all the way off to one side, and there's like just so much there to explore. Then you can go off to the other side, and then you're coming out of Scuttletown into like another part of just that general island. And there's still a whole lot. That's where you can go to like the city hall or whatever, you know, all of that stuff from Pirate's Curse. So there's like a whole lot there to explore. But in Half-Genie Hero, you only have a few little stores to go into, and then you're basically your method of transportation this time around is Sky and her bird. I'm forgetting her bird's name, but Sky and her bird grows fucking huge, and you get to ride on him, and he'll take you to other little neighboring islands near Scuttletown. So that's cool. I have one more issue I just thought of with that in mind as well. So let's say this one first, and then I'll get to that one. So there are only a few shops and little area buildings you can go into, but you can't really, there's only so much like you can explore right there, because there's like an opening in like a little gated opening at one point in the little area, and I thought, oh hey, maybe I can like hit forward to like go, it almost kind of like Risky's Revenge, where like you can just kind of go forward and you can explore more outside of just the general start that you're where you start. But that's not the case. You can't exactly go anywhere else besides, basically you're limited. That's what I'm trying to say. You're basically limited in Scuttletown itself, and I was like, oh, I wish you could experience, you know, or you could go out more and explore more like you could in Pirate's Curse. But that was like the smallest thing, because you're going to other places anyway, and this time around it's Sky taking you everywhere, so I was like, okay, well, it's whatever. So it was like a nitpick I had at the most. That's all it really was. It wasn't so much of a complaint or anything like that. The other thing though, which is a little bit more of like a, I kind of wish they put something here, was when you're on the little world map dealio with Sky and her bird, and you can choose which island you want to go to, there's no music playing. And I really wish that they kind of filled in that you know, emptiness sound-wise with some music, because if you think back to Pirate's Curse, when you're on Risky's ship with her and she's there in the foreground and you can see all your neighboring areas in the background, that's where you're choosing where to go. You've got this awesome music playing in the background, and it sounds very adventurous, and it's like we're out at sea, and that's kind of the vibe it gives off. And where are we gonna go now? You choose which island you want to go to. But with Half-Genie Hero and you're on that world map, there's no music playing. So I was like, well, I wish there was music playing. But again, I mean, you're only choosing where to go, and it takes like 2 seconds. So it's, again, I wish it was there, but with the fact that it's not there, it's whatever. I don't, like, I mind, but I don't mind. It's a weird fucking thing. It's not like anything, oh, it's wrong, that's number one wrong with the game. Like, no. It's not really wrong, it's just, I wish they threw something in there to fill in that negative void, sound-wise. So yeah, besides that, I think that's everything so far. It's a good fucking game. So I would recommend you play it. You don't exactly have to know what happened in the previous 3 games. I'm not sure if... Oh, no, okay. So, I haven't played the first game, so I don't know if the first game's story leads directly into Risky's Revenge. But Risky's Revenge's ending does kick off what happens in Pirate's Curse. And then Pirate's Curse's ending is what pretty much kicks off, it's kind of a kicks off Half-Genie Hero. And the thing though is that you don't exactly have to know what happened in Pirate's Curse. So far from what I've seen, you don't have to know what happened in Pirate's Curse to get what's going on in Half-Genie Hero. You can just play Half-Genie Hero for its plot, and you'll pretty much be up to speed with what happens, because there's still a beginning, middle, and end from what I've been seeing so far. So yeah, and so that's really it. See, now it's a freaking long video. I'm looking at my LCD screen right there, and the time's just like 25, 26. There's still a lot to edit, but okay, so we're pretty much, it's a long video. It's like a 20-something minute video. what do you guys think of Shantae Half-Genie Hero? Now that I finally have it, I'm so glad I have it, and from what I've played so far from that live stream, it's been a good fucking time so far, so really, really good. I'm not going to give it much of a rating, because I don't think I've given other stuff ratings for first impressions. I don't think so. So I'll probably hold off on a rating until I actually get to review this game on here after I finish playing it. So, yeah, not a lot to say. Let's run over this stuff real quick. A quick recap. Too long, didn't watch, because I fucking ramble a lot. Let's recap real quick. Music, fucking awesome. Gameplay, fucking awesome. Art style, fucking awesome. Game overall, so far, fucking awesome. I'm Marcelo. I will see you guys later. Again, link down below to the live stream. I incentivize you to watch it so that we can really actually see my candid ass reactions to everything that happened. So these are my first impressions from that video, from that live stream. Now sharing it with you in a more controlled manner than when I was just playing it and being like, oh, look at that, oh my god, listen to this, oh my god, look at that. Like, it was very, and then my brother was in there, so we were freaking rowdy as hell, cracking jokes left and right, and we weren't exactly doing silly voices or anything like that with the characters. I mean, once in a while we were, but we were trying to keep it a little more like, okay, let's just read them in our normal voices and get on with it. So, yeah, it's a good time. I definitely recommend you play it. With that being said, I'm Marcelo. I will see you guys later now. Take care.